In this video, I'll show you how to make a wonderful item that you probably haven't seen anywhere else, using just a few small pieces of wood like these. Hello, I'm Allison. Welcome to the channel. If you like this type of content, consider giving the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you want to help me out, share this video with friends who enjoy this type of content. The woods I'll be using in this project are these 7 pieces of cedar. Actually, it's a reuse. These measure from 26 centimeters, and these around 30 centimeters, all measure around 7 centimeters wide and 2 in thickness. I'll start the work with these 4 pieces. Let's go to the bench saw. I'll cut all 4 sides to standardize the measurements and square them off. In the end, they'll all be 295 millimeters long by 67 millimeters wide. Initially, I set the saw to 69 millimeters, so I cut from this side. Now I set the saw to 67 millimeters, and we'll make the cut on this other side. Now I'll only cut the tip of the 4 parts to square them off. Then I'll adjust the measurement to 295 millimeters, making the cut on the other side. I set the saw to 295 millimeters to this stop. Now I'll position the piece where it was cut square. I'll position it like this, and then I'll make the cut like this. This way, they'll all be the same size. In the next step, I will thin out everything. These 4 parts I'll leave with 20 millimeters thick. These 3 I'll leave with 15 millimeters. In the next step, I'll make some markings on these 4 parts. I've marked 3 centimeters on the combination square, and I'll make the marking like this on both sides. I'll do the same on the other 3 pieces as well. I'll use the square to draw a line on the markings that were made. With the lines drawn on both sides, I'll place the piece like this. I'll take another and align it with the marking that was made. I'll draw a line on the other side. I'll do the same with the other marks as well. I position the square exactly halfway through the width of the piece, and I'll make the mark like this. It looks like this. I'll do the same with the other pieces as well. Here where it's marked, I'll cut on the bench saw on both sides. In this internal part, I'll clean using the 81 sandpaper and a piece of wood. These 3 I'll cut to 195 millimeters in length by 65 millimeters in width. The cut will also be made on both sides of each piece. The same way I did before. First, I'll cut the tip of the wood so that it stays squared. Then I'll cut to the length of 195 millimeters. I adjusted the saw to 195 millimeters up to this stop. Now I'll position the piece with this part that's squared. I'll position it like this. Now I'll remove this stop and make the cut. Next step, I'll sand everything with the 180 sandpaper, taking care not to sand too much these parts, so the fittings won't be damaged. Well, with the sanding done, now I'll move on to assembly. I'll use one of these pieces. Apply the glue to the fitting. I'll use this brush to spread it. I'll apply it on the other side as well. I'll use another one of these pieces. I'll apply the glue to the fittings as well. Now I'll fit them like this. See, the fitting is perfect. I'll take the next piece. Apply the glue as well. And now I'll fit it like this. I'll move on to the last piece. And I'll also fit it like this. Now I'll use a cloth to clean off the excess glue. I'll check for squareness. It's okay. Everything fits perfectly. I'll use these smaller pieces. Apply glue on all 4 sides. I'll spread it evenly with the brush. And I'll place it like this. On the inside part, I'll do the same, applying glue on all 4 sides. I'll place it in sequence. I'll do the same with this last piece, placing it in the remaining space. Ideally, it should fit snugly. Perfect. This last piece fitting snugly, the entire project will be locked. I'll check for squareness. Again, as you can see, it's perfect. I'll give it a slight tightening using clamps. Always making sure to clean off excess glue very well. I'll leave it like this until the glue dries, then I'll move on to the next step. Ready. The glue has dried. Now I'll sand it again with 180 grit sandpaper, especially on these parts, to remove any remaining differences. Using the router, with this 32mm bit, which cuts at 45 degrees, I'll round off all the edges of the item on the inside and outside. After rounding the corners, I'll hand sand the item using 180 grit sandpaper, and to finish, I'll use 360 grit sandpaper. With the item ready, I'll apply this natural mineral oil on it.